Max Savage and Austin Brown and Sean Yeaton are Parquet, a rock band from New York. They were formed in 2010 and they're still going. They've had 7 albums, no change in members, and I couldn't find any particularly interesting stories about them. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the 5th album by Parquet Courts, and it's my first listen to this album. I've reviewed one of their albums before in this series, so I'm not completely ignorant of them. I would describe this as being art punk, although I'm not entirely sure what I mean by that. Maybe I'd describe it as Lou Reed meets Talking Heads meets bad playing. I couldn't really think of the third one to put in there. So it's kind of got some of the kind of punkness to it, but it hasn't got the raw energy that punk has. But it's kind of got the kind of lo-fi playing attitude towards playing skill. Some of it's not perfectly in tune or in time. It's not particularly sophisticated musically. Some of it's better than others in terms of that, but some of it is just quite stripped back and basic, and it feels like sometimes people who haven't learnt to play hugely well playing at that point. Bear with me though. Okay, so the vocals are not always in tune, but they remind me a lot of Lou Reed. I've mentioned him before, and if you don't know who Lou Reed is, but if you like this, go away and listen to Lou Reed. It's kind of low, growly, rumbly, very laconic kind of approach to stuff. Sometimes the spoken vocals, and they particularly reminded me of Talking Heads, so a band from the 80s. And the lyrics are sometimes quite obtuse and kind of as if they're just doing songs about whatever they felt like and weird things at the time. Again, that reminds me of Talking Heads as well. What I think is, bizarrely, it's got a sort of charm to it. I don't think I liked it as much as their previous album, but it's still, I quite like it. It's got a kind of 60s lo-fi feel to it. It does remind me, I've talked about Lou Reed a couple of times already, it reminds me of some Velvet Underground stuff. It's got a kind of raw and jammy feel. And given when it was, I assume this is a deliberate harking back to that sort of stuff. It's definitely got a kind of laconic humour to it, and it's got a kind of mild intelligence to it as well. And that, I think, is the element that makes me want to put the word art in with the word punk here. I found it reasonably okay to listen to. It's interesting enough lyrically and vocally as well to counteract the kind of musical issues in here. My favourite track is probably One Man No City, which has got some you can't make head or tail of what he's going on about, but it's still quite good fun lyrics. So I liked it somewhat, and I'd love to know what you think, so please do talk to me in the comments box. That's it from me for now.
Where I'm from, where no one lived there, I look back now, nothing's changed. Where I'm from now, still no one lives there. Look back again, and lock the door. Yeah, I maintain